Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Osman's Edu Trends Swing into Educational Trends. Today we will be talking about medicinal chemistry. So basically you all are aware of chemistry that actually involves the study of chemical compound, chemical structure or elements. So if we talk about medicinal chemistry is a chemistry discipline concerned with the design, development and synthesis of pharmaceutical drugs. Now here, what does it mean design? Designing a drug which is suitable for the body in the sense like body will accept the drug or drug will get accepted by the body. So the body will act on the drug will be acting on the body. That involves pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic, events. Now development, if we talk like we have to develop a drug, like old drug which is already existing, that drug actually is good, but it will have some things which are not acceptable. We need to increase the palatability of the drug. If we talk about the route of administration, or if you want to increase the potency of the drug, like the old drug which will have the less potency when we are giving that drug, when we are administering that drug in lower amount like 5 mg or 10 mg, when it will give us some amount of action. Now we want to get the drug of the same activity but of lower dose. Like if you are giving a lower dose, the action should be similar or more. That is what is our intention. Or sometimes if we want to get the less side effects, like sometimes if we take a drug, the drug will have more side effects, the drug will have different side effects. So if you want to lower the side effect, or rather we can say adverse effects, so we can develop a drug. And synthesis of pharmaceutical drug, we are synthesizing a drug. Like suppose if you take an example, the drug is either available in the nature or it can be synthesized synthetically. Now the drug which is available in the nature, that drug can directly be taken, that drug can be processed, and that can be used for pharmaceutical action. But some drugs are taken and then again they are synthesized by doing some of the actions on the natural drug, and we are getting another product that we are using at our convenience. Now this medicinal chemistry discipline combines expertise from chemistry and pharmacology. As I told you, pharmacokinetic parameters involves, it's a study actually which is nothing but pharmacology. Now, chemistry and pharmacology is combining to identify, like we need to identify a drug. We need to see whether this drug is suitable for that particular pharmacological action or not. Then we have to develop a drug. If this drug is not suitable, what minute changes we can do in the drug structure so that we can get a desired pharmacological action. And then synthesizing these drugs or chemical agents like that will have therapeutic use. Therapeutic use is like desired action or desired pharmacological action. And to evaluate the properties of existing drugs, like can even help us to know the properties of existing drugs. So this can be taken as a standard medicinal chemistry definition. Now, basically, in our terms, if you want to understand medicinal chemistry, we all should understand that whatever medicine we actually take, since from our childhood, rather, we can say, if you take any paracetamol tablet, did you ever imagine that paracetamol will have a structure? We call a specific chemical structure as paracetamol, and that paracetamol structure is made up of carbon, hydrogen as basic elements, and it may even have some other elements or atoms that combines into a chemical structure. It will form a chemical structure, but that particular chemical structure will have a particular pharmacological activity. In previous olden days, the activity analysis was done. It was analyzed that this particular chemical structure, which is called as paracetamol, will have antipyretic activity. That means reducing body's temperature. Now, if this paracetamol structure, if it is studied in detail, we will know that particular functional group or particular atom is responsible for. So the same thing, like we use so many medicines in our daily life, even we can see that everyone is struggling with some kind of disease or ailments or some kind of complexities, and they all go to a doctor, and doctor will see the signs and symptoms and try to analyze that particular organism which is causing that disease, and the doctor will try to identify that organism, and depending on that organism the doctor try to give a particular medicine. For example, antibiotics, which is against biosis, that is life of microorganisms, or you can say the different types of bacteria or fungi and all. So whatever medication or whatever medicine is being prescribed, it will definitely have a structure, and we need to study about a structure. Now, what is the difference between that structure and mechanism of action? What is the relation? We need to understand the body's action on the drug. and the action of drug on the body. And that study is particularly called as pharmacology. And we call it as pharmacodynamics. That is what drug does to the body. And what is pharmacokinetics? Pharmacokinetics is the effect of body on the drug, right? Like it involves, so many parameters, starting from solubility, dissociation, dissolution, etc. And the effect of drug on the body and the mechanism of action of that particular drug. And that study is called as pharmacodynamic. And combiningly, these two terms comes under pharmacology. Now, what is the difference here between pharmacology and medicinal chemistry? That is what, like, medicinal chemistry involves the study of chemical structure, basically. And the one major difference between pharmacology and medicinal chemistry is we need to study the chemical classification in chemical. We need to study chemical classification in medicinal chemistry, whereas in pharmacology we used to study the classification based on the drug action. So here in medicinal chemistry, we actually classify the structures based on their basic nucleus, like what kind of chemical structure the drug is made up of. So we have to classify the drugs on this chemical structure, on the basis of chemical structure. Now, medicinal chemistry is, a science which is, rapidly evolving into a highly interdisciplinary field. It is enriched by the collaborative efforts of experts from a wide spectrum of specialist area. Rather, you can say from chemoinformaticians or physical chemists to molecular biologists and even pharmacologists. Now, if we talk about the use of plants, minerals, and animal parts as medicine, this has been recorded since the most ancient civilization. With the evolution of knowledge, the means of drug discovery also evolved. New molecules with potential pharmaceutical interest are natural products or compounds generated by computational chemistry, or you can say compounds from a screening of chemical libraries or from combinatorial chemistry. Combinatorial chemistry is nothing but we are synthesizing so many drugs in only single time, or you can say the time which is taken for traditional synthesis of a single product. In the same time we can synthesize thousands of compounds at a time without wasting time. And even from pharmaceutical biotechnology, the selected compounds are improved for its pharmacologic, pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic properties by chemical or functional group modifications and then transforming it into a lead compound. The lead compound should have a known structure or known mechanism of action. What is lead? Lead actually, it's a leading, or you can say the basic nucleus, which will have a basic structure and it will have a basic mechanism of action. And that lead nucleus or the compound should have a known structure and should have a known mechanism of action. The lead is again further optimized. Optimized means it is modified or it is, optimized. It is just made according to our use to a drug candidate that is safe to use in human clinical trials. Now let us have an idea like from where we get these lead compounds. Natural products which will have a major source of lead compounds in discovery of new drugs for the treatment of infectious diseases, neurological diseases, or lipid disorders, or cardiovascular and metabolic diseases. In case of immunological products or drugs, inflammatory and related diseases, and sometimes oncologic diseases. So this completes the basic information about medicinal chemistry.